Hello everyone. Hopefully there's no sound jibbly jabbly because we got both Carrie and Matt on each of our phones on our own Facebook pages doing a Facebook Live. This is for our friends in Canada and maybe a bit in Guatemala. Carrie might be speaking some Spanish just to speak a blessing, so we will see. We just want to give you an update of what's going on in Guatemala for all our friends and family and those who are interested. It's an exciting time, interesting time, and to be alive all over the world. So we're fine, we're good, we're healthy. We've had a lot of opportunity to minister in and around our region through our community center with our staff. We've continued on with our staff, even though we don't have our special needs clinics or centers going. None of our mothers programs have been going as groups, or what else? Tutoring, help with kids, and Bible club, and a variety of things because obviously we can't meet. We've also recently been able to go up to about a half hour, 45 minutes away to some villages that are poor, and we've been collecting food packages, and over the last month we've been able to deliver over 250 to different families, so probably over 1,000 to 1,500 people that we've been able to feed. And that's not normally one of the things that we do, but in times like this, you change your plans. So we just want to let you know quickly some of the things that just happened recently. Things change because it's increased in the cases in Guatemala. Started last night. We are in a 3-day lockdown.
24 hour.
24 hour. We can go out to the local tienda, walk down there for 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. But we can't drive anywhere or can't drive or use motors unless you're specific, unless there's an exception. So we're trying to figure that out as well, because one of the biggest things here is people cannot get food because they cannot go anywhere and they have no money because they don't have work. So it's a lot harder than in North America. So those are some of the things that's happening. So it's for this weekend, and then next week, grocery stores are only open Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then the next week, we're probably doing this again. We're blessed over this last month because we've talked to other fellow missionaries in El Salvador and Honduras, and they are in lockdown. They were in lockdown, like they could go out once a month, or once a week to get food and stuff like that. So we're doing good. We're excited. One thing that's been going on over and over and over in my mind is that God is not afraid, and that He is in control, and He's not fearful of this. So, hey Joe, haven't seen you forever, man. Hope you're doing well. I think you're on the other side of the world. Hi Jennifer. So those are some of the things. I mean, we don't have maybe some of the worst in other countries, but it's starting to get panicky here. So even this morning when people were supposed to go quietly to the tiendas in different parts of the nation, we see pictures on Facebook where there are hundreds of people in the streets because they're panicking. So one of the things that we want to focus on is praying against fear, that God would bring peace. And we want to be able to help and supply, first of all, peace and comfort and help and share the gospel, but also practically, like I said, which isn't normally one of our main things that we do as a ministry. But one thing that Carrie was able to share with our staff this week was during this time we've been able to get to know our community more. Mm-hmm.
So as we've been changing focus this last little bit, we've went into our communities and met people, and what God's really putting on my heart and what I've really been seeing is the lack of palliative care in this country. If people don't say, we've met 2 ladies actually, and just that live about 5 minutes down the street from us, that live 5 minutes from us, that have stage 4 uterine cancer. So in the very end of their life, if there's no hope and that a hospital can't treat them, they just send them home. They send them home without painkillers. They send them home without any care. There's no nurses that come. They're sent home to be taken care of by their family who are not capable of taking care of them. So in our walks, going through the communities, checking on people, seeing if they needed food, seeing how they were doing, we met 2 women, one named Olga and one named Marta. And Olga's had uterine cancer for 3 years. She's in stage 4 of uterine cancer, and she wasn't able to eat anything. Her feet were all swollen, and was just feeling terrible, feeling kind of left behind in this world, that nobody cared. We came to visit her. Her family's very poor. She lives with her mother-in-law, who is elderly. Her husband has convulsions and epilepsy, has not been able to work, and they're very, very poor. So we went there and just to see how we could help, started praying for her. First of all, we got her painkillers as soon as we can. We got her Pedialyte. We got her Ensure, things like that, so that she could be drinking and starting to feel better. And we did see a change in her, and we are seeing that she is getting better. We were able to connect with a friend of mine who's a physiotherapist here, get her a wheelchair, so now she's able to move around. This family is so poor, they have lamina roof, which is a metal roof, but there's holes in it, so water's coming in, so we're wanting to come in and help them fix their roof. But this is one family of thousands of families, because the people here live day to day. There is no safety net for these people. And if people don't come out and love one another and take care of one another in different nations, then there's no hope for these people. But there's enough people. This is what I'm seeing on the earth. We don't need governmental solutions. We don't need to look at the government and say, what are you going to do for us? How are you going to fix this? How are you going to reform this? There's enough people, if we take care of our neighbors in our own communities, that we can make a difference in this world. A lot of times people say, there's just too much, I can't make a difference. But in Olga's life, if we never showed up at her door to bring painkillers, to bring love, to bring support, to get a wheelchair just because we knew somebody, and all these little people working together make a big difference in the life of others. And I believe in Canada too, there's people suffering in silence, and that doesn't have to happen. We need to find out who our neighbors are and what they need. And that's what we've been doing during this time. And I thank God that we've been able to get more out of our day-to-day routines, and because our routines were very strict. We had a certain schedule that we followed every week, so it didn't afford us much time to maybe know the people who lived around us. And now we're seeing the world in a different way. And I hope that many people are seeing the world in a different way and able to help each other. We can help each other. We can make a difference. And look for ways to do that, because that's how we're going to beat coronavirus. Coronavirus isn't something that we can't beat. We can beat it as we come together.
Yeah, so we did, as Carrie said, we just encourage you to go around your areas and helping people in need, and providing more. We were telling our son this morning the element of peace. That doesn't matter if the whole world is in chaos. If we come in peace and we walk in that peace and we don't engage in that, we actually change that atmosphere. So today and this weekend and these whole new measures, we're just figuring out what else we can do. We have some friends who deliver food, as in make meals. They're caterers, so they have special permission to go around. So we might have opportunities to get out in the community in areas that we wouldn't, because we're not supposed to drive our vehicle. So these are, just pray also in the city and the major center areas where most of the population, like Guatemala City has 3-4 million people, and the surrounding areas there have most of the cases. And the main hospital that's for the poor, it's called Roosevelt, is one that is closed. They're not receiving anybody because they have too many cases. So it's just an explosion of cases over this last few days that caused this in the whole country. So just please pray, especially for the peace, and especially that there wouldn't be panic, and that people would be able to get food that need food. And especially in the rural areas, it's hard because there's no stores out there, and some places, like one place we went to, the harvest was horrible last year, so there we could see in their eyes the malnutrition in the kids, and just malnutrition has tripled since January, end of January this year. It's been reported. So, and Guatemala has a bad or a high malnutrition rate in essence, in normally. So we're just trying to get as much food out to as many people, working with other groups. Feviva, the place that the base that we live on and where we worked with for years, is out doing lots as well. They've connected with so many pastors and rural areas and giving out to food. Power at Work, our friend missionaries there, they're doing stuff here, and House of Refuge as well. So there's lots of and other ones that we know, and churches and people. Mary Kling. So we're seeing a lot of people rising up. We just need more. So we can only do so much, and we know that. But your prayers are so important. We'll be putting together a bit of a video. I'll be posting it. Just some of the things that we've been doing over the last while, and what our ministry does. So, and really, it's not even just us that do it. We have wonderful Guatemalan friends. They're more than just staff to us. They're our friends, and we have fun with them, and we make fun T-shirts together with them and stuff like that. We joke around a lot, and we enjoy them, and they're ministering, and they're working with the people here in their country, and it's awesome.
Yeah, so it's very encouraging, and what really is happening around the world, and a lot of missionaries and people from the front lines will tell you that what's more dangerous than coronavirus is malnutrition. What's more dangerous than the coronavirus is that people aren't getting the food that they need.
People are starving.
When you shut down transportation in the whole country, when people can't leave, small villages will be the last ones to get supplies. And so this is a crisis for many, many people. And even during this weekend, we're praying that there's ways. We're so thankful for our friends who have 24-hour access to a vehicle that can get out. And we're working behind the scenes right now with different ones who have been put into quarantine because of a case in our community. A whole section has been put into quarantine. Those people will be dependent on the government and how much food they bring in. And if they don't bring in enough, there won't be enough. So we're looking at ways to start talking and partnering with the local municipality and the local government to bring food in to this specific village and these specific places. So just pray for us that we will have favor, that we'll be able to go into these different villages, that we'll be able to distribute food, because we don't want to keep distributing to the same place. We want to get the food to those who need it most. And that we would be able to partner with the government, that they could see that we're working with them and not against them. Yeah. So that's something that we're really excited about, and that we know we can do. So if you're thinking about how can I help, one way you can help is partnering financially so that we can continue to make food packs. Right now, of course, the prices of food are going up a bit than they used to be.
Unknown caller.
Sorry.
Unknown caller.
So we're wanting to get as much of these food packages out as quickly as we can.
Yeah. And just as our friend Kim Wheeler, he posted stuff to a fellow awesome man of God they've been here for 20 some years. It's not just a one-time thing too, it's continue, and it's going to take a bit more to get Guatemala back up, and Guatemala is one of the best, most prosperous countries in Central America, but such a huge divide. So when adventure comes, when hardship comes, that's when
unknown caller.
We can step up and begin to help, and first of all to pray. I mean, the power of prayer, power of worship. I think we need to. That's where we all start up. All this. If we don't have God, we got nothing. Mm-hmm. If we don't have God, it's not even worth doing this kind of stuff. So because it's more than just giving somebody a full belly.
Unknown caller.
They need to be changed. For those watching on Carrie's video, she just had a phone call. So this might be someone calling regarding what we're doing. So we just want to thank you all for prayers for our church, friends all over Canada, all over our United States as well, and different ones around the world. We just thank you for your prayers. We know we're praying for you. We're praying for our friend missionaries in Georgia and in Ireland and India and El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua. I mean, in Mexico, people that we've had the opportunity to meet all over the world. So we're excited about that God is not going to abandon us, but He is changing us. So those are a few of the things. So we're going to post some videos and pictures of some of the stuff we'll be doing. We don't usually do all the promo stuff like this, but we just wanted to share what's going on, and we all have enough. When we have, okay, Adrian Carlton asked a very good question. Thank you, Adrian. I will share how to give. You can e-transfer is probably the best way. I will post it at the end of this, but I'll say it. It's info@overcomewithgood.ca. info@overcomewithgood.ca. So, I answered that, Adrian. Or you could go on our website at overcomewithgood.ca, and if you want to use a credit card. So those are the two ways that you can help. And 100% of the food goes to 100% of the funds goes towards the food. So that's what we're doing. And like we said, we're not usually a food distribution place, but even one of the villages we went to, it's called Chan Hong Hong, very poor. They're the ones who had the bad harvest. We were looking to go back because we're ministering with one of our staff members' churches works there. And just being able to do more opportunities to bless and work with the families, because really the opportunities to give food gives opportunities to speak into families' lives, see healing in families and marriages, in places where there's abuse and stuff like that. So that's why we're here. We want to see the transformation of families, and it's exciting because we're seeing that in our staff members. And now, I mean, we go out into communities, and I just almost cry because they're jumping right in, and they're naturally, they love praying with people and loving people, but they they're moving in and being more effective in what they do, and they're being affected by the hard places in their own nation. So that's exciting. So Adrian, I will text you that question that you asked. Right now we've bought enough for 300 packets. That'd be a couple pounds of rice, a couple pounds of beans, oil, toilet paper, sugar, and what's the other thing? Either spaghetti or
rice.
Yeah, we got rice and or beans. So we got about 300 packets, and that's all covered. I would say $2,000 to $3,000, Adrian. That's what we're trying to get more. So just so we can continue to do this, and whatever funds left, I mean, if there's funds left over, it'll be used for that. Mm-hmm. It'll be used. Another thing that we're doing is our friends down the road, Power at Work, they get Gleaner's food, so it's dehydrated packs of food, and we make this one little pack like this makes 100 servings. So we're giving to families down the road, and whenever we go out to the villages,
hot meal programs.
It's a hot meal kind of thing. So so Stacy Simpson. Okay, mm-hmm. That's another thing. So thanks for all those who are watching. Hi, Julia. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Carrie went offline. She had a phone call. For those watching on Carrie's phone. So those are. We know that there's needs everywhere, mm-hmm. And even our organization, Community Transformation Foundation in Canada, we have a charity there. Our board members are receiving funds to help in Canada because we know there's needs there. Mm-hmm. So the food element isn't as big in Canada, but there's other needs. that people need, and people do need food in Canada because they're running out of money. But Guatemala, that's probably the biggest thing. So we really appreciate your prayers, really appreciate your love, and yeah, we've been connecting more on Zoom with people. So if you want to have a Zoom date, coffee, cookies, we'll eat our food, you eat your food. That would be fun. So thanks for those who've taken time to watch us.
Yes.
And we love you, and have a great Friday. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.